All right, Coach Krause, we're live. I'm sure Ricky will be in here any minute now.
Let's go, Ricky. Pick it up.
Yeah, come on, man. Let's go. Let's go.
You're late.
Yes, he put in a few. Hey, we're here live in the Florida Wrestling Room with Coach Mike Krause, #1 youth clinician in the country.
Oh, well, at least in this room.
Yes, sir. Hey, how are you, man? I really am thankful that you took this platform and took this opportunity to come on with us, man.
Well,
totally cool.
I appreciate it. I mean, I have a little time on my hands in these last couple of months, so I'm good to go. But I appreciate it.
Fantastic. So I saw. I noticed when you signed up, I was surprised. So you didn't start wrestling until the 9th grade.
Yeah, exactly. We had a couple classes in middle school. You know, take the shirts off, get the jeans on, learn the far knee, far ankle, or the basic moves. And I was pretty wiry. I was pretty good, actually. I enjoyed it, but I didn't even realize it was a real sport. I mean, back in Michigan, only like Zeke Jones and Andy McNaughton and these guys that were, Trish McNaughton, they were deep in the sport. But again, there's no internet. There was no, so you didn't really know what was up unless you knew. You didn't know. So anyway, I started in 9th grade, actually 2 weeks late in the season. I was walking by the wrestling room because I was at the National Honor Society meeting because I had a 4.2 grade point average. Anyway, I was just watching. I was just watching the practice, and the coach goes, "What are you doing?" Well, I'm just watching. Let me back it up. My buddy Scott Morocco says, "Hey, Krause, you should wrestle." And I'm like, "Wrestling's really a sport?" And he said, "Yeah." He says to me, he goes, "Even if you suck, you still get muscles." And I was like, "All right, I can use some muscles. I was 112 pounds, just a little wiry kid." So then fast forward to I'm standing there watching the practice. They're all doing these. They're all standing in a line doing fan drags to body locks. I remember this. And the coach says, my coach Mike Krause says, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm just watching." "Oh, get in here." I said, "Well, I'm a baseball player." He said, "Well, that's next season." I was like, "All right." And the average kid would have been like, "No way, dude," and walked away. I seriously, it's a true story. But I went downstairs and got on some gym clothes, walked in there, and just literally got my butt handed to me by every kid in the front. They didn't slow it down. They didn't even tell me what the rules were. So I just got totally smoked. And then in the locker room, everyone's like, "Krause, you wrestling? Krause, you wrestling?" And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't maybe. But I went home that night. I tell this story at camps. I went home that night and I was just stewing. Because these guys were beating the crap out of me. And I thought I was tough. So I said, "Mom, I need a pair of wrestling shoes." She says, "Why is that, Michael?" I said, "I'm going to be a wrestler." And I jumped in. I loved it. I loved the fight. I loved it.
Man, that's awesome. And it's amazing because obviously we know what you became. Yeah, and we know what you are now. And you ended up going on to college, a big Division I college, and wrestling and coaching. And it says a lot, right? Because a lot of kids think that if they don't start when they're, in 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, they don't have an edge against those kids. They feel like they've been working harder, working longer.
I mean,
what do you tell those kids?
Yeah, you're definitely behind the 8 ball. But I mean, I'm an athlete, so I mean, I'm a go-getter, and I'm gonna say it like it is. My freshman year, I was a varsity at 105. 15-1, yeah, whatever. But that summer, no one told me, "Hey, by the way, there's summer wrestling." I just went home that summer and waited. I did like one little local camp. I mean, bless my coach's heart. You know what I'm saying? No one said, "Hey, by the way, if you want to get really good, you need to do freestyle. You get really good, you need to go to summer practice." I sat there and just waited till the season for the next year and just wasted a whole summer. Yeah. So, I mean,
I learned, and
know what I'm saying?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was the first all-state kid in the history of our whole school's program, which I actually pride myself on that. But I had some small Division II scholarships, slight scholarships, and some academic scholarships. But my parents went to Michigan State, so no matter what, I was going to Michigan State. I got a recruiting trip, and I just basically walked on to Michigan State with no aspirations of even getting a scholarship. I didn't even care. I just wanted to keep wrestling. No one told me to have this go-getter attitude. And so my freshman year, midway through the season, I was like 4th man deep at 142. I mean, varsity was not even in the cards, really. But, as fate would have it, I mean, I don't care if you're a 2-time state champ, 3-time state champ in college. If you can't hack the school, if you don't do the right things, you're done. So I saw dudes dropping like flies all on the team. And next thing you know, the 67-pounder got hurt. And the coach says to this guy, Winsky, hey, Winsky, you're going varsity at Iowa at 67. And I was sitting there going, what? I was drilling with my partner. I go, I could beat Winsky. I said, hey, coach, I could beat Winsky. And he's like, you want to challenge master? Him and Dan Severns were kind of giggling. And I'm like, yeah. So I freaking pinned Winsky in about a minute and 27 seconds. And Phil says, I guess you're going to Iowa. And I'm like, damn straight, I'm going to Iowa at 167. Holy crap. So, I mean, anyway, yeah. So after that freshman year, they gave me a tuition scholarship. So I was like, all right, that's cool, whatever. I mean, I'll take it. I just wanted to keep wrestling.
And I think that's the things that you feel like you missed on. I mean, has that what gave you the passion to really get back and stay with the youth and stay with the young kids and grow the program from the floor?
No. What it was is, when I was done in college in '92, I got home in '93. I went to my high school, and they were kind of screwing around. It was an unorganized practice, and that's not me. So that's what it was. I went to Livonia Stevenson, the adjacent, enemy high school, who were horrible. Anyway, from '93 to '99, I coached that team. And before I got there, they had one all-state kid. It's a total coincidence, by the way. They had one all-state kid in the history of the program. When I got done, I had 5 state champs, 2 all-state teams, 4 conference titles, and 34 all-state kids. So I was like, okay, this is fun. I like coaching kids. I like coaching high school. If you want to get good at wrestling.
Not bad, huh?
Yeah. We started crushing it. I was only 25 years old, so I was like a kid on a team, I just showed technique, put the headgear on, and just train wrecked all the dudes, and it was seriously, and that was with no feeder program. So I mean, that was just that was fun. And so anyway, I moved to Heartland, where I was just a helper on the team, was a high school team. And then let me back it up. I'm a construction major. I was working construction, doing demolition for myself for a long time, and that dried up. So what I did, I was writing mortgages for about a year, and I couldn't get to high school practice. So the coach at the high school says, hey, you want to coach this? What I did is I did an open room at night. That's what I did. And this one mom had about 12 kids, little superstar kids called Powerhouse. They were doing a club. And they say, hey, Krause, you want to come coach our club like twice a week? And I was like, sure. And in that first 2 or 3 practices, I learned quickly that the kids, even though they're staring at me, no one's paying attention. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there showing double. Uh-oh, Ricky Marcus, what's up? You're late.
Get back.
So I learned, I'm sitting there showing double legs, break. Everyone's doing double legs. I'm showing high crotches or whatever, break, and they're all still doing double legs. And I'm like, time out, bring it back in. This is when the first little light bulb went off. I was like, who can just show me what I just did? Because no one's really paying attention, even though they're staring right at you. I get it, trust me. I did a clinic where I was sitting there watching Chael Sonnen show technique. I found myself drifting off, and I'm like, pay attention, it's Chael Sonnen, So I figured out real quick, no one's paying attention. So I started tweaking my coaching techniques. And I really wish I could have had some video of me back in the 90s, early 90s when I was coaching high school. Because all my guys say that we're now like 45 years old, tell me, oh yeah, you were just like that. I'm like, no, there's no way I was just like this. There's no way, But anyway, it slowly evolved into my whole system. And I'm going to say like it is, I've got this thing down to a science, man. I really do.
You do.
I really do. Man, it takes.
Oh, hey, we got Ricky on now. So, hey, Ricky.
What up, Ricky?
What's going on, brother?
We tried to wait for you, buddy, but we had to get
No,
moving.
man, that's fine. Listen, man, I sell health insurance, so I was on the phone with a client. And if I could have said, listen, dude, just give me your damn credit card. I got to talk with freaking Krause, man. I would have said it.
Hey, can you beat $200 a month for a semi-fit 50-year-old guy? Guys, that's what I'm paying.
No, that's what they start at.
Oh God. Okay, I'm getting a video then.
Yeah, you did. You did. All
right,
so listen, I see you, or I heard you mention Stevenson High School.
Yeah.
When I was in college in 86 to 88, I went to a JUCO in upstate New York in Batavia. I wrestled for Gene's brother, Dale Mills.
Oh, okay.
I wrestled for Dale, and my roommate, who is our 118 pounder, because as you know, that was the weight class back then.
Yeah.
He went to Stevenson High School.
I sure Livonia Stevenson in Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan. Yeah, that's where he's from.
Who was it?
His name is Charlie Kroll, Kroll.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep.
We're Facebook friends, yeah.
Yeah, I speak to him all the time on Facebook. Yeah, so Charlie was our 18 pounder. And then we got another kid the next year from Stevenson. He just sucked. He was my weight, and I just used to beat the shit out of him. But sorry if kids are watching this. But anyways.
I'll tell you what. When I was coaching at Stevenson, again, we had no feeder program. We'd go to the 8th grade 8th grade, whatever, city meet. And back then, they didn't let the kids wrestle neutral because it was too dangerous. And I was like,
oh my God.
Yeah, seriously, this is what we're dealing with here. So then, the middle school coach, and I don't know who it was to tell you the truth, but bless his heart, had nothing going on. And the kids actually came in wired a little wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, just forget what you learned in middle school. Let's start over. But that's what I was dealing with. But it was fun. Again, I was young, real young, 25, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we were just cranking out the studs, man. It was fun.
Yeah. So, we mentioned that you were going to be coming on doing a live interview, and I had one of the high school coaches reach out to me today, and he asked me if I could ask you a question.
Oh, boy.
And he wanted to know, he said, well, first of all, he put, oh, man, I'm going to read the text. He goes, oh, man, I would love to pick that guy's brain for about 2 hours. So I said, what do you want to ask him? He goes, what's the best approach to handling parents that feel their kid does no wrong and baby him?
Oh, my God. All right. Well, here's a story here. I guess I'll put it in a scenario where, like, I've had it where kids are doing fine in prep. I mean, I'll take a couple scenarios. This is what I'm thinking, at least. The kids are doing fine. I do camps or clinics, or even my room where kids are doing fine. Also, when mom walks in, 3 times out of 10, the kid just melts down because there's my mom, and if I cry, they're wired to get a hug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's I've told those moms, hey, I'm not gonna step on your mother-son bond or whatnot, but you can't come to practice because your kid melts down. You know what I'm saying? And they usually get it. I'm not sure about it. Hey, you can't be in here. That mom will smack you in the head. But I mean, that's one scenario I think he's talking about, or he's talking about the mom and dad. They're like, well, Mike, if the kid's wrestling like a jerk in practice and the parents aren't buying it, I mean, that's another scenario where the parents aren't thinking their kid can do no wrong. But I mean, I usually talk to the moms like that, and the dads too. And if the dads are trying to coach their kids during practice, I'm like, here's the story. And I had a few new dads, like my 5th or 6th year coach in Team Shamrock, walk onto the mat, and I'm like, whoa, hey, time out, man. I'm a hammer of coach, but these guys are trying to override me, and I'm like, you can't coach your son during practices. One dad goes, well, we're leaving. I turned to the kid. I said, do you like your dad coaching during practice? He goes, Dad. And I'm like, why don't you take a seat? We'll talk later. And now that guy and I are best friends. But he tried to, it's tough it's tough when you step on a father-son bond. You got to kind of tiptoe into it, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to get, that's a goddamn father-son bond here. But that's how I handle, parents who, and I don't really know if I'm answering the question properly, but think their kids do no wrong or try to coach their kids, or when the kids melt down when they come to practice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is tough. Yeah. I was at a clinic last year with Daniel, and there was I don't know, this kid must have been 7 years old. Yeah. And it was an NCAA All-American in there training the kids, and he's working them like a college, like a college program. Right. And the little kid is just tired. I mean, he's been run through the mat, and all of a sudden the father was like, you're an embarrassment to this family. And he's yelling at him. And I was like, oh man. Yeah. And I was just, I mean, I remember the coach being like, hey buddy, that's not acceptable here.
Oh yeah. We've all caught
7
years old. What do you,
I love competitiveness, but with the youth, and Mike, this better than anybody, the dads and some of the moms can get a little crazy, man.
Absolutely.
Like the mayor, like you said, they're the mayor of Jerkville, and
right. Yeah. Well, hey, I tell you what, in my practices, when it's live wrestling, I let the mom and dads and all the parents yell to the kids, so it's like a hostile atmosphere, because that's how it's going to be during the match. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So I really don't give a rip. But if you start coaching, don't coach them like during the practice, or I was doing a clinic in Ohio one time, and it was a place where down like in a racquetball court type, mat where the parents are all up in the balcony, and some mom kept yelling down at her kid, and the kid's like, the mom's like, I was like, it's time. I was like, hey, I said, quit coaching your kid. You think I blew a nut actually, but she might thank me later. But again, people can get nuts. It's a crazy sport. It's crazy, of course.
You see so many times these kids that are youth phenoms that are world beaters. They're winning Tulsa, they're winning Reno, they're winning this, they're winning that. Yeah. And they're so pressured, and there's so much emphasis put on win. There's no fun. It becomes a job, and they burn out before they get to high school, or they get to high school and they get their ass kicked because everybody else caught up to them.
All right, yeah. Let's talk about. I got a story for you. Let's talk about two roads. Marky Hall, who I knew when he was a 5-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
The kid has been on top of his game for since he was 5. They used to take a Winnebago full of studs out to Tulsa. I would work for Cliff Keen. I'd be out in Tulsa. I would fly back, and they would be at a local tournament, double entered in 2 weight classes. 2 weight classes. All right, 400 matches a year or something crazy.
Wow.
Miles Amin went to our high school. He's in my club for a couple of years. Miles was a fun little kid. His dad's Mike Amin. He's All-American.
My son wrestled Cam at the Grappler about 4 years ago. Yeah.
Cam's a great kid.
Yeah.
They take it super seriously, but Miles never went to Tulsa in his life. Miles sometimes didn't wrestle in the high school. In the youth state tournament, just, whatever. Who cares, right?
Right.
We got one kid, Marky Hall, that was cutting weight as an 8-year-old, or whatever, young kid, which is fine. Whatever, that's your deal. I'm not ripping on him. But he went full tilt. And you got Miles Amin that took I handled it a whole nother way. And I'm not saying one's right, one's wrong, but they're right there. Boom. Right now they met. Now they're right there. Marky's got, they're right there. What's right? What's right? Who knows?
Right. Each kid's different, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and like we were talking earlier, you started wrestling in 9th grade, and there were guys that started wrestling in 4th or 5th grade, and by the time everything evened out, you and them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You just got to do the right things and repetition and mindset.
Absolutely.
There's no. I don't know. I'm convinced. If you want to talk about this a little more, I'm convinced that you want to hammer all those. And again, this is what I do for a living. So I'm not knocking hammering all these national youth tournaments. And sometimes that's a great bond. The kid and the dad love it. And I've seen just thousands of great father-son bonds. But that might be too much. I don't know. My son wrestled 2 years, so what do I know? But if I had to step back and be a third person looking in, I would say once in a while you do a huge tournament like that. We're going to Tulsa next year, that one time, and you just have, I think, more fun and just drill technique, just technique.
Yeah.
And take a break once in a while. Take like a 2-month break. Forget about it. Also come back, because then now you're like, here's what since I'm rambling on my pre-workout here. Yeah, parents would say, "Well, my son's not getting any better." I said, "Trust me, he might not do a thing over the summer. When he comes back to Team Shamrock, and I have new kids in the room, and I'm showing the exact same stuff, he's gonna put on his 'I'm a cool guy' attitude, and he's gonna get better instantaneously. It's the weirdest thing. Weirdest thing. You don't have to train all year long to get better in like jumps." So
I tell people that all the time. At some point, you're going to see something just switches for that kid. Something, it's a moment, it's a tournament, it's a match, but something clicks. And from that point on, it's a whole different kid.
Yeah, it's your breakout match or your breakout tournament. And also you like this, I am good. Yep. I am good. You are cool, kid. You are a cool kid. What's up?
Yeah, and I know we were talking a little bit about it, but I know just the experience. So you had mentioned how you didn't know about the summer in 9th grade, whatever. So same thing. So Daniel started a wrestling program at the First Academy down here in Orlando, and 7th and 8th grade, he's a little chubby kid that's getting picked on because he's young for the grade.
Right.
So he's like, "Dad, they're starting a wrestling team." I'm like, "Hey, go for it." So he only really wrestled during the season, 7th and 8th grade, and he was wrestling high schoolers. So he was a heavy kid, 130 or 126, and he's wrestling high school. He's getting smoked, right?
Yeah.
And he went 0-30, 7th and 8th grade, right?
So did Helen Maroulis.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me, "Hey,
you're on track to be a living champion."
Yes, I found out about some AAU tournament locally, and I'm standing there in the stands, and people are like, "Is your kid in a club?" I'm like, "What's that?" Right?
Yeah.
And they're like, "It's a club, or a wrestler's club." I'm like, "Okay, well, I don't know." So someone told me about CFWA, and I took Daniel there, and I put him in there his first rumble, and there's 200 kids.
Oh, yeah.
Palazzo don't play, man.
Right?
No.
And so I signed him up. I'm taking pictures of my kid, and Miss Palazzo comes over, is like, "Hey, you can't film the whole practice." I'm like, "But I'm having a good time." She's like, "Nope, sorry." I'm like, "Okay, well, can I sign my kid up?" She's like, "Sure. How does that work?" So she told me, and I signed him up. And for the first month, it was like every excuse to go to the bathroom, to throw up in the trash can. And then all of a sudden, one day, he was like, "Okay, you can't work me hard enough. I want to work hard." And it's been great. He got 3rd place at districts this year. He lost both matches at regionals, but when he got 3rd place at districts, I ran up to Palazzo because he was in the room his high school. And I almost threw my hands around him and I realized who it was. And I'm like, I'll just tap down the shoulders.
Yeah, right,
he's like, this is just the beginning, Dad. So
yeah, totally.
It's amazing what the off season did. And I'm a little heartbroken with everything that's going on, because I've been so looking forward to seeing what he does this off season, just that next step, you know?
Hey, let's not get all crazy, man. I hope this goes over about a month, you know, in a month.
It's not lost yet.
Yeah, he's already telling me, he's like, I hope they still do Disney duels this year. I hope we still get to go to Michigan. And
yes.
We went to App State last year, and he just had a blast. And it's been great bonding for he and I.
How old is he?
14.
Okay, so the freshman?
Freshman, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So he's a young freshman. And it's been good for me. You know, I transitioned. I spent 20 years in the car business. Okay. And then I realized my one son really loves wrestling, and he's never going to be able to accomplish it unless I change my life. So one day I walked out of the dealership and went and got my real estate license 2 years ago and said, okay, I'm focused on you now. So I've been doing everything I can to be there for him and what he wants to do. So, and then Ricky allowing me this platform the last 2 weeks, man, I've learned so much about wrestling and got to talk to so many coaches and so many kids. It's been great for me. So what you guys do in this sport is unbelievable.
Well, I appreciate it. So what you're telling me is you're going to get me a house, and Ricky's going to give me some life insurance, and I'm coming down.
Health insurance. Health insurance.
And life.
For sure.
And car.
Yeah, I've got a great room over the garage. You can spend the summer with my kids. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
All right, Mike. So let me hit you with a few questions that were sent to me through text messages about 2 minutes ago from some coaches wanting to ask you questions. So who as a wrestler at Michigan State, who was your toughest opponent?
Oh my God. All right, let me give you a brief breakdown of my career. My first 2 years, I was they called me the utility man. I was really a 42 pounder. Actually, I could make 42, but I felt better at 50. Long story short, I wrestled 77 twice against Larry K-Fish and Keith Davidson at a tri-meet at home. And I only lost by, I didn't get majored. I only lost those guys by 5-6 points.
That's like a win, right?
Yes, that's are you kidding me? I was like a total win. I wrestled Terry and Troy Steiner both. I wrestled Brian Dolph. I wrestled Pat Santoro freshman year. And I looked up, and no one told me, remember, there's no internet. And so I had Santoro at the Ohio Open. And I looked up at the first minute, I was text 16-0. And I was like, who the hell was that? Like, that's the defending national champ, Pat Santoro. A nice guy, just barely, I didn't break a sweat. He just got tilted up. Let me think. I wrestled David Lee. Remember David Lee? I was the 167 national champ in Wisconsin. Yep. He tried to break my arm. But because I always gave these guys fits, you know what I'm saying? They're like, who's this little dude bumped up? And I'm like, what's up? But the strongest guy I ever wrestled was Brian Dolph. Brian Dolph had me in just a flat out collar tie. Couldn't get out. I was like, get off my feet. Yeah.
What weight was that at?
That was at 50, at Big Times 50. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Terry and Troy Steiner both put the legs on me, and you think you can defend the legs until you feel like you got the jaws of life cranking on your hips. You're like, but those. I got a couple more. I wrestled Matt Demaray, but he beat me 5'2", but he beat everybody 5'2". He's a couple-time national champ from Wisconsin. Yeah, that's some killers, man. Big Ten's no joke, and
no joke.
I was not a blue chipper. I was not a blue chipper coming out of high school. I was just like, want to keep wrestling. I got thrown in the mix, which was fine by me. I don't give a rip. But I want to say Brian Dolph was the man. He's a good friend of mine too. We joke, he's a good dude. Yeah, he's a killer.
Ricky, you see the question? Ricky? Can you see the Facebook feed?
No, but I can actually get to it right now on my phone. Hold on one second.
Yeah, if you're gonna start asking some questions, there's I know there's a Miguel Dominguez that wants to know some stuff, and Dominguez! It looks like people are, so I know you're going to get into asking some questions if there's some on there.
One match you could do over again.
Oh, you know what? I don't want to go on back in time and change anything, but you want to open up a wound. In high school, I lost in the state semifinals in overtime. Back then it was a 1-1-1 match. So but then I might not be where I am right now,
Exactly.
Oh, okay, I'll back it up. The one that I went over. Yeah, I was wrestling this kid. I remember I was weighing in high school. I was going 32, and back in my day we had 2 weight classes: your dual meet weight class and your tournament weight class. So I was up at my dual meet weight class. And the other coach, as they're weighing in, goes, "Yeah, I got a live 32 pounder." And I'm thinking, "Oh, that's my weight, man." And I was beating the guy, here's the deal too. I was such a nice kid. I'm a nice guy, and I was too nice on the mat in high school. I threw him in a lateral, and he hurt it. As he hit the mat, he went, So I just got off him. The ref didn't blow the whistle.
Oh,
I just you know what I'm saying? What was I thinking?
Right.
So I get up, and then the ref blows the whistle. I could have put a head on his back, and then I lose by a point. And I was like, mother. So I guess I'd like to have that one back. Tell you the truth.
Yeah, for sure.
The ones that just that mold my life, but that was just a damn dual meet that I wish I would have freaking just stuffed that kid in the mailbox.
All right, best high school coach that you've encountered.
I've encountered them all.
Best high school coach you've encountered.
Well, I mean, Mitch Hancock. I mean, obviously, I've been with him for 10, 11 years, and I watched him run just a phenomenal college practice in a high school room. One of my best friends is Roy Hall, and Roy Hall, he's the Davidson coach, and we go against Davidson every year, almost every year. Gosh dang it, man! Those two guys are top notch. I know Robertson from Dundee. I've never been in his room, but I just know he's just top notch. Palazzo's top notch. I've done camps with Buxton. He's freaking. You just respect the hell out of Buxton.
Yeah, of course.
Now he's doing his club, but he's top notch. I just ran across some serious guys. Oh, I was in Connecticut. I forget the guy's name. Dang it! This guy ran a college practice, and that's the difference. I wrote a big post about I coach an elite high school practice at the youth level. I've been to some youth practices where you walk in, you're like, "What's going on?" Oh, it's kind of like on your own type stuff, and kids are walking in and back and forth. It's like romper room, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And there's a place for those practices somewhere, but not my practice.
Right.
And then I walk into a high school practice where it's kind of like a organized youth practice where kids are on their own drilling. No, nothing's on your own in high school. It's on the whistle, man.
Right.
So you want to jump levels. You got to coach your club or whatever your age group is. Don't be a jerk about it with the kids, but you make them drill like little high school rock stars. So anyway, I've encountered some great high school coaches, Mitch, Roy, Robertson, guys in Connecticut. There's guys in Wyoming that Montana. I just did Brady Flatt, and those guys are great coaches. Yeah. California, I just with Jared Slack. He's a youth / high school coach. He kicks some butt. Their kids were, I can tell immediately when I start coaching an actual club, if they know what they're doing or not. Not that I know what I'm doing, but I can tell they know what they're doing. When I start having them, just warm up or just start doing drill. One thing I do, so I'm still rambling here. When I get to a clinic, I'll say, okay, I start drilling on your own for 5 minutes. Head inside singles, head outside singles, double legs, snap downs, pumping, just go. And I watch the kids drill, and I'm like, all right. I see what I'm dealing with here,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's see, what else do I got here? I got a couple other.
There's a gentleman on here asked, how do you feel about doing multiple sports at the youth and high school level?
Oh, we get that question all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all about it. I was baseball, wrestling, and golf. I'm a golfer. But you can specialize, but gotta play at least one other sport. Take some time off. Don't worry about your weight. Us wrestlers, we live the lifestyle. We live wrestling. So if you're constantly wrestling all year long, one day I'm like, "Hey, Dad, I'm going up a weight." He's like, "Oh, you're going up a weight?" You freak out. I say take a whole season off, play another sport, and just pig out. You're a kid, man. Pig out.
Right.
Get 5 pounds chubby, and suck that weight back off you. What's up? Now you're a new man. Now you're a new person.
Yep.
So
you got to keep it fun, man, because they'll lose interest, and that brings me to something I wanted to discuss with you. We were talking a little bit earlier about going to all these big tournaments, the Tulsas, the Renos, the Cliff Keen tournaments, all these big tournaments. Yeah. I learned something a while back when my kid was younger, because I was that dad. I was like, balls to the wall. We're doing this, we're doing that. Next week we're here, next week we're there. I'm mortgaging my house. We're taking them everywhere. My best friend, his name's Casey Thompson. A lot of people know him. His son is Chase, sophomore. Yeah, he's sophomore in high school. Kids took 4th his freshman year, 3rd his sophomore year at 220.
Okay. Oh my God, man, weight there.
Big boy weight classes. Yeah. And he's not fat. He's got no fat on him. He's a solid kid. But one thing that Casey taught me was, we can go to all these tournaments, but you gotta mix in something educational and fun with it. So we would go to tournaments, and we went to Freestyle Nationals, which was in Utah a few years back.
Gotcha.
Like 5-6 years, and we flew into Colorado. We went to the Olympic Training Center because Casey knows all the Olympians. We toured that.
Right.
Got to work out one of the coaches. A couple of wrestlers came in. It was really cool. And then we drove from Colorado to Wisconsin or to Wyoming, and he booked a tour of an old prison that was closed down.
Nice.
And the kids loved it, man. It was just awesome. So, you really got to keep it fun for these kids. It's, it's about wrestling and winning, but you got to keep it fun. Otherwise it does feel like a job. You agree with that?
Absolutely. It sounds like some great advice. Yeah. So the kids, if the kids ever have anxiety about it, it's more of a vacation / wrestling / hey man, let's get a W. Maybe or not. Let's go check out a prison.
My son gets mad at me. I tell him, hey, we're going into a tournament. All I ask you is, man, go. And I've always been this way with him, is go have fun, right? Go have fun. Just go have fun. And then when he's done, I go, hey, you had fun though, right? He goes, no, I didn't have fun. I got my butt kicked.
I'm trying to win this thing. Dad, it's about winning.
I'm like, no, but I mean, you're learning. You're not I always try and tell him, you're not losing, you're learning. Just keep learning.
There's winners. There's winners and there's learners.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What are you talking about, man? Yeah, that's fun.
But I tried to do last summer. I did. We were at the club, and then he shuts down the club in August. But I took him to camp up in App State, and that was a cool moment because it's beautiful up there in Boone.
I heard that camp is phenomenal. It's huge. Yeah.
We were able to have some time off, and kind of hang out with each other. And then we went to Michigan with Palazzo, Michigan State Grapplers. So we got to do a couple of cool things in Disney, and I got to tell you, for a dad it's been great bonding time for me. So I agree with you when you said you see a lot of good father-son time together. And I've learned, like, he would come off the mat. Funny story. I had never been around him as much until I quit the car business. So now we're at these tournaments, and I'm right as soon as he gets off the mat, I'm like, hey, you okay? So finally he pulls me aside and he's like, hey, listen, you got to give me 10 minutes before you can talk to me. Like, you got to give me 10 minutes. And then I'm like, yes, sir. So we're kind of learning each other,
Yeah, it's funny he said that, because even with my youth wrestlers, when they lose, I just say, shake it off. That's all I say. I say, shake it off. And it just kills me. And I'll say like it is, when coaches grab a little kid or grab a high school kid and they show them, hey, a year and a half, like no one wants to don't show me what I did wrong immediately after I walk off the mat. Who gives a rip, man?
Right.
Let me go be pissed.
Yeah.
You got to write it down or record it, coach, record it, but let the kid, give him some respect. I'm going to take a seat. You got this, man. Relax. Yeah, seriously. That bugs me.
So he kind of taught me, hey, look, I need some time to go be upset. Or even if I win, I need time to let my adrenaline come off. Just
there you go. Yeah.
That's a rule that me and my son have. I wait 20, 30 minutes. I don't even go near him, win or lose. I just leave him alone. He'll come to me.
Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah,
that's
perfect.
So
perfect.
What are you what are you recommending that all these kids that are stuck at home right now, are you recommending strength training, drill training, just
well, I mean,
just one kid at home, what are you telling the kids to do?
Right. Everyone's doing it on the internet. I mean, I'm doing it now too. I just joined with my man, Joe Barnaby. I'm doing I just did one on Monday, and I'm tell you what, I just did like a 7-minute video, and I was, I got to get back in shape. So anyway, seriously, it's crazy. Anyway, I'm doing a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm doing like a 7-10-minute video with a motivational talk, so to speak. And it's on wrestlingscholar.com, $7.50 a month. But I'm putting all my 12 DVDs on there. They're all hour-long special effects kind of thing. So you get all that, plus whatever. We're really gonna cram it in there. But you gotta do something. I mean, you're young, but you're especially if you've gone through puberty. You gotta keep moving. So to go for a little jog, do some push-ups. You gotta push-ups, pull-ups. I don't do sit-ups, but push-ups and pull-ups, man. Push-ups and pull-ups, and I do my little thing. I do like isometric type punch training. I swear to God, that stuff works like a champ. My girlfriend's in the room laughing at me, but it works. It works. Anna, you laughing at me?
That's awesome.
But yeah, you got to do something, and stance in motion, man, changing levels. The video I did yesterday was just stance in motion, doing a stance check, lowering your butt, not your head, just doing some pump, fake, pump, bang, go, pump, bang, go. And when you move your hand, you step on your leg. That motion right there, in and of itself, takes 3 years to get. When you reach, you step. When you reach, you step. And you got to do something.
Yeah, like the knee slides. Everybody makes the knee slides look easy until you try to do one, right?
Especially elbow back knee slides. That's a weird motion. Get off me. Yeah, seriously, yeah.
So totally. I know, and I'll let Ricky kind of take it from here. But I know you've got your camp Next Level, right? You travel all around the country,
right, everywhere,
coaching, and I'd imagine obviously right now everything's virtual, but I'm guessing you're going to be up and running and going all through the country. And how do people get a hold of you? How do people hire you? How do people?
Okay, well, I hope so. Right now my summer's booked solid. You can just get a hold of me at bringitwrestling.com or MikeKrauseWrestling.com, or just just Google me or my phone number, whatever you just text me. But anyway, bringitwrestling.com says contact Coach Krause. But I got a camp going on in Kansas, two big, huge camps. I got Troy Steiner coming in, or no, Terry Steiner coming in. That might not happen, because that's a big girls camp, and then I got a big youth camp at CC Weber. So I don't know if that's going to happen either. But from June on, I'm booked solid, and I just had North Dakota State. Is it North Dakota State? Maybe it's South Dakota. It's North Dakota State. It's in South Dakota. Maybe it's Northern State. In South Dakota, just canceled because the college said we couldn't do it. So there's a 1 day camp down the tubes. So I think what I'm going to do is hopefully this all starts to shed some light on some clearing up in about 3 or 4 weeks, and I might have to bring a thermometer and say, you know what, here's the deal. I got a no touch thermometer. Every kid that walks in, take the temperature, say, okay, you're good. Wash your hands. Let's do this.
I think that's going to become the way of the world, right?
Yeah. Well, this could really, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And real quick, Ricky, a question popped up. Gentleman couldn't find much youth programs for the young ones. So he started a little club out himself, he says here.
Nice.
And he said that he's finding it difficult to find some really high level tips or information for the little ones. Where can he come across some of that information?
Well, if you I think I'm high level, but
yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, again, here I'm pitching my DVDs, but you can go on that website, and I
pitch them, baby, pitch them.
Yeah, I've got 10 full practices that are hilarious because I put special effects to them. They're geared towards having the kids watch them. Like when I shoot a shot, it sounds like a tiger growling. They're funny to watch. It really is. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and let's make sure we put that when we get off, Coach. Make sure you go into the comments and put the link to get the DVDs, to get a hold of you and everything. And,
there's 12 of them. There's 12 of them, and I got one is me wearing a referee outfit explaining the rules for 45 minutes. The other one's a coaching DVD. So there's a full set of for $100.
I'll default to you now, Ricky. Man, I saw those questions coming over, and I had that one. Thank you for answering that, Coach.
So I got to run too, but we're going to hit them with the 10 questions in 10 seconds, even though it's really eight questions in 10 seconds. So
do it.
You ready? You ready, Krause?
I think so.
You sure?
True, false, true.
Here we go. Ready? One word answers. Ready? Folk style or freestyle?
Folk style.
Ice cream cake or birthday cake?
Ice cream.
Singlet or two-piece?
Singlet.
Rap or country?
Country.
Brands or Sanderson?
Brands.
Iowa or Penn State?
Iowa.
Bowling or fishing?
Bowling.
I knew you were going to say that.
I got a bowling ball.
Snow ski or water ski?
Water ski.
I do
both.
There you go.
Yeah.
So back to the bowling. Your son, is he whooping your butt still in bowling or what?
Yeah, my oldest son's special needs, but he was labeled autistic, but he's special needs. He's 19.
He loves that bowling, right?
Oh yeah, we go bowling, and
that's awesome.
I had to teach him how to lose because he was always getting all pissed off. I'm like, relax, we're having fun. He's special needs, so I was like, he didn't get it, but now he's like, that's cool, Dad. I'm like, that's my man. But, he beats me sometimes, but I'll bowl once in a while. I got shoes and a ball, so that's half the battle right there,
Love it.
Yeah, totally.
Man, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for being a member of the Florida Wrestling Room, man. You're more than welcome to post anything you want. Throw it up there, because it's all very valuable stuff, man.
I appreciate it, Ricky. Thank you, man.
Of course. And next time you come to Florida to one of the Palazzo's things where you're going to run a clinic, I'll definitely drive.
Or Hunter Hill. I go to Hunter Hill.
Or Hunter Hill.
Hunter Hill's the man.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, I will definitely see that on the Florida Wrestling Room, and we'll get together.
Hey, somebody posted, Ricky, to get your son Nick to get him to the Pride camp.
We're already talking about that.
Do it.
We're already talking about that.
All right, guys. Coach, thank you for responding to my text. A lot of people don't, so I appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, Mike. Get back.
You get back.
Take care, guys.
See you.